Today we're going through Gabor Mate's book, When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress. This book reveals how emotional stress impacts our health and can even lead to severe diseases. We'll explore the mind-body connection to unravel this complex and fascinating topic. Let's start with Mary's story. Mary suffered from scleroderma, an autoimmune disease where the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues, causing hardening of the skin, esophagus, heart, and lungs. This disease causes significant pain and severely impacts quality of life. Mary's childhood was traumatic. She endured abuse, abandonment, and was shuffled through different foster homes. These experiences taught her to suppress her emotions, even from herself. Emotional repression became a significant factor in her illness. Mary's story shows us that emotional suppression is not just a psychological issue. It can directly lead to physical diseases. Traditional medicine often explains diseases from a biological perspective, neglecting the connection between the mind and body. Most medical textbooks suggest that diseases are primarily caused by internal toxins and genetic susceptibility, deeply influencing doctors' training and practice. During diagnosis and treatment, doctors often disregard patients' emotional and psychological issues, viewing them as irrelevant or even ignoring them completely. However, as science progresses, we increasingly find that many diseases are closely linked to emotional and psychological states. For instance, chronic diseases like heart disease, hypertension, and diabetes are often associated with emotional stress. Psychoneuroimmunology is a field that studies the interactions between psychological processes and the nervous and immune systems. This field reveals how emotions influence the immune system through the nervous system, affecting our health. Emerging research at the cellular level is uncovering how this system operates, reminding us once again of the inseparable link between emotions and health. For example, studies show that when we feel stressed, our bodies release a series of hormones that can affect immune function, reducing our resistance to diseases. Psychoneuroimmunology provides scientific evidence to help us better understand the relationship between emotions and health. Stress is a complex series of physical and biochemical reactions in response to intense emotional stimuli. Emotional repression can dismantle the body's defenses against disease, disrupting our physiological defense mechanisms and threatening our health. Prolonged emotional repression weakens the immune system, increasing the risk of illness. Many studies have found a direct link between long-term emotional repression and serious diseases like heart disease and cancer. Emotional repression not only leads to emotional distress, but also directly impacts the immune system, making us more susceptible to illness. We must recognize that emotional and physical health are interconnected. Understanding disease requires considering the connection between the body and mind, and the same goes for understanding health. In the healing process, every piece of information and every truth can be crucial. The more we understand ourselves, the less we become passive victims, gaining the ability to make reliable decisions that affect us. We need to recognize that health encompasses not only physical health, but also psychological and emotional well-being. Only by achieving mind-body unity can we truly attain health. The concept of mind-body unity reminds us to pay attention to our emotional and psychological states and actively manage stress to maintain better health. Gabor Mate shares his experience with his mother, who suffered from progressive muscular atrophy. To avoid worrying her, he always hid his physical discomfort. This repression became a memory, deeply ingrained in his developing brain. While investigating the role of emotional repression in cancer, Mate began a journey of self-exploration and discovered that many cancer patients tend to automatically deny their psychological and physical suffering. These patients often exhibit a strong facade, trying not to let others see their pain, but this emotional repression silently damages their health. Mate's experience shows us that the impact of emotional repression on health is profound. Natalie's story is another typical case. In the spring and summer of 1996, Natalie faced tremendous life stress. Her 16-year-old son had just been discharged from a drug rehabilitation center, and her husband Bill underwent surgery for a malignant intestinal tumor. Natalie was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, which damages the central nervous system cells. significantly affecting quality of life. An MRI scan of her brain showed characteristic abnormalities of MS, forcing her to confront the harsh reality that her body was gradually losing function. Natalie's story tells us that immense life stress and emotional repression can seriously impact our health. The symptoms of multiple sclerosis depend on where inflammation and scarring occur and can lead to limb numbness, muscle weakness, and vision problems. Psychological stress is considered an important factor that increases the risk of MS. French neurologist Jean-Martin Charcot pointed out as early as 1868 that patients often associate long-term sadness or worry with their symptoms. Blurred psychological boundaries in childhood can also become a significant source of physiological stress in adulthood. Natalie's experience shows us that long-term psychological stress not only affects our emotions, but also has serious repercussions on physical health. We need to learn to manage stress to protect our health. Jacqueline Dupre, a famous cellist, was diagnosed with MS at age 20. Her mother experienced the death of Jacqueline's father at the time of her birth, and Jacqueline was a sensitive child whose emotional expression was stifled early on. She poured all her tension, pain, and anger into her music, but still developed MS. Jacqueline's story shows that suppressing emotional expression affects not only our psychological health, but also our physical well-being. We need to learn to express emotions and release stress to protect our health. Stress is a physiological process independent of its cause or the subject's awareness. It primarily affects the endocrine, immune, and digestive systems. Emotional competence, the ability to feel and express emotions, distinguish between present and past psychological responses, and recognize genuine needs, is crucial for protecting against potential stress. Emotional competence is not merely a psychological aspect. It also plays a key role in protecting our physical health. By cultivating emotional competence, we can better cope with life's stresses and safeguard our health. Alexa's story illustrates the typical psychological traits of ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, patients. Diagnosed with ALS, she struggled to seek or accept help from others and had long rejected negative feelings. These behavioral patterns had formed long before her illness, with emotional repression contributing to the onset or exacerbation of ALS. Alexa's experience shows that prolonged emotional repression and an inability to seek help can have severe negative consequences on health. We need to learn to seek help, express emotions, release stress, and protect our health. ALS patients commonly exhibit emotional repression, appearing friendly but feeling repressed inside. Famous physicist Stephen Hawking, despite having ALS, overcame the disease through personal effort and family support, becoming an inspirational figure. In contrast, Sue Rodriguez, emotionally distant from her family, publicly challenged the law to seek the right to die. Different coping strategies highlight the importance of emotional and social support in disease progression. We need to recognize that emotional repression and lack of social support have serious health implications, and learning to seek help and support is crucial. Breast cancer patients often report that doctors are indifferent to their emotional state. The potential biological links between psychological stress and breast cancer have been widely studied. Although genetic factors have limited influence, emotions and hormones play an undeniable role in breast cancer. Breast cancer patients who can express anger and have strong social support show significantly better prognoses. Emotional repression and lack of social support can exacerbate breast cancer. We need to learn to express emotions and seek social support to better cope with the disease. Women emotionally disconnected from their parents or abused in childhood are more likely to develop breast cancer. Those who repress their emotions and lack strong social relationships, particularly altruists and compulsive caregivers, are at higher risk. Male breast cancer patients share similar emotional experiences, with childhood emotional neglect impacting their health. Childhood emotional experiences have a profound impact on our adult health. We need to pay attention to our emotional state, learn to manage and express emotions for better health. William Osler noted in 1892 that rheumatoid arthritis likely originates from the nerves, meaning psychological stress. Rheumatic diseases, including rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, ankylosing spondylitis, and systemic lupus erythematosus are characterized by the immune system attacking the body's tissues. These patients are typically extremely stoic, avoid seeking help, and focus their anxiety on others. Emotional repression is a common trait among these patients. We need to recognize the importance of emotional health to physical health and learn to seek help and support. There is a close relationship between emotions and the immune system, with repressed anger leading to immune dysfunction. Inability to effectively process and express emotions and prioritizing others' needs are common patterns among chronic disease patients. These coping mechanisms reflect blurred boundaries and confusion between self and non-self on a psychological level, ultimately leading to immune system disorder and disease. The impact of emotional repression on the immune system is profound. We need to learn to express anger and other emotions, maintain emotional health, and protect immune function. The body's stress response mechanisms, particularly the generation of the key stress hormone cortisol, become imbalanced with prolonged overstimulation. In rheumatoid arthritis, cortisol's response to stress is lower than normal, leading to immune dysregulation and excessive inflammation. Emotional repression and long-term stress significantly impact the immune system, contributing to these diseases. By improving emotional states, we can effectively alleviate these symptoms. Managing stress and emotions is crucial for health. Attachment relationships play a crucial role in regulating children's emotions, behaviors, and physiology. A child's physiological state varies significantly when parents are present or absent. Self-regulation functions like a thermostat, maintaining stability in extreme environments. As social animals, humans depend on emotional connections with family and tribe for survival, making social support vital for alleviating physiological stress. Attachment relationships are key to psychological and physiological health. We need to nurture healthy attachment relationships to protect overall health. Parents' love for their children stems from mammalian brain attachment mechanisms, but parents' expression of love is limited by their own experiences of harm. Parenting reflects parents' early life experiences, with intergenerational transmission of parenting styles largely a matter of physiological development. An anxious mother may raise anxious offspring, perpetuating a cycle across generations. Understanding family history and early experiences helps us break this cycle. By understanding and changing intergenerational patterns, we can improve health and quality of life. Cell membranes function like the brain of the cell, interacting with the environment. Genes do not completely determine human behavior and health. Early care plays a major role in how genetic potential is expressed. The biological mechanisms of beliefs influence our behavior and health, but human experience and potential can reverse this. By changing beliefs and internal environments, we can heal diseases. Changing beliefs involves both psychological and physiological dimensions. We need to recognize the importance of beliefs to health and actively change unhealthy beliefs. The key to healing lies in individual initiative, freedom, and informed choices. Regardless of the chosen treatment method, it is essential to liberate oneself from the belief in purely biological mechanisms and from oppressive and stressful external environments. Finding self-healing pathways and changing internal environments are crucial for healing diseases. We need to be actively involved in our treatment, making decisions that suit our circumstances. Through proactive self-management and decision-making, we can achieve improved health and healing. True positive thinking begins with accepting all realities, while forced optimism merely masks psychological discomfort. Ignoring negative emotions is a source of stress. Negative thinking helps us understand life's situations, removing overly optimistic illusions. The key is not to blame others, but to take responsibility for our relationships. By embracing negative thinking, we can reduce psychological burdens and promote health. Negative thinking is not about pessimism, but about the courage to face reality. We need to learn to accept and process negative emotions to achieve psychological and physical health. The 7 A's of healing include emotional competence, self-acceptance, and self-confidence. Emotional competence is the ability to responsibly interact with the environment without harm or self-harm. Recognizing our lack of this ability is not for self-judgment, but for further development and change. By cultivating these abilities, we can enhance our capacity to reverse diseases and achieve self-healing. Healing encompasses both physical and psychological dimensions. We need to take a holistic approach to improve and maintain our health. That's all for today. I hope this book helps you gain a deeper understanding of the relationship between emotional repression and health and find suitable coping strategies. Emotional repression profoundly impacts our health, but by changing beliefs and cultivating emotional competence, we can achieve self-healing and lead healthier, more fulfilling lives. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.